How's it going, everyone? Want to give you guys a major update for PlayStation Plus for the month of February. Not a great update, but we'll go through that. And also, some reviews have come out for some of the top games of early 2024. Obviously, we have the release of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth and Tekken 8 later this week. Both of them are being received very, very well. I'll go over the Metacritic scores briefly at the end of this video for those of you that are interested in either of those games. But first of all, PlayStation Plus getting a major update in February as some big titles will be leaving the service come February. PlayStation Plus Extra, that is. Obviously, they have a rotation of games. Games get added. You guys know the deal. It's not like PlayStation Plus Essential. When you redeem those games, they're added to your library, and you can perpetually play those games as long as you're subscribed. That is not the case with PlayStation Plus Extra. Games are added to the service in a licensing deal, and once that deal expires, you can come back to the table, renew the deal, or that game leaves the service. In this case, you've got 10 games leaving the service. Let's go through them real quickly. Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown, Hue, I Am Setsuna, Lost Sphere, Lost Words Beyond the Page, Oninaki, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, Tacoma, Tekken 7, kind of interesting that's leaving given Tekken 8 is just coming out, and Thomas Was Alone. So those 10 games are all leaving. The trio of Tokyo RPG Factory games from Square Enix are all leaving with Oninaki, Lost Sphere, and I Am Setsuna. I feel like Tokyo RPG Factory never popped off like Square Enix wanted them to. They put out, you know, games. I Am Setsuna was a decent game, Lost Sphere was okay, and Oninaki was okay. They're all okay games, but they never stood out, and it was a real big bummer, because I think like the foundation for Tokyo RPG Factory and the aesthetics, the style of the games was super compelling, but it was just super rough around the edges and wasn't fully fleshed out. So just unfortunate that they never really resonated at the level that I think they potentially could have, but these things happen, as I always say, in the gaming world. Not everything is going to turn out well. I would say, obviously, like with I Am Setsuna, Lost Sphere, and Oninaki, if you haven't played those games, I wouldn't say, oh, go rush. If you have a PS Plus Extra subscription, go play Oninaki right now. Like, nah, I probably wouldn't say that. But down the line, if these games are super heavily discounted and you're into JRPGs, give them a shot. And just go into them with your expectations in line, because they aren't, like, fantastic games. Honestly, from a Square Enix JRPG standpoint, probably some of the weaker Square Enix JRPGs they've ever published. But Square Enix, relatively speaking, has a pretty good track record with that. I believe Tokyo RPG Factory is working on a 4th title, but don't quote me on that. So those 3 games are leaving. Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown, obviously I talk about that game ad nauseum. It's a fantastic game, and if you want a game to play on Plus Extra before it you know, leaves the service, Ace Combat 7 is one that I would rank it among the very best. So that's definitely one. It's not super lengthy either, so definitely check that out. Hue's got a pretty cool aesthetic to it. Lost Words Beyond the Page, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, of course, that's a classic and really turned the tide of Resident Evil in totality, and now Resident Evil is revered as one of the top franchises in all of gaming. But RE7 was the game that I think a lot of people will point to as the game that kind of shifted the perception of Resident Evil, and then it continued with the RE2 remake, RE3, not as much, but it was fine, and obviously the RE4 remake, and Resident Evil Village, of course. Tacoma, decent title there, Tekken 7, and Thomas Was Alone. Hopefully PlayStation Plus Extra gets a solid lineup of additions in February, because the January lineup I thought was very mediocre. Like, I didn't think it was very good, and the issue with January was there was not a lot of depth to it. Like, not a lot of games were added, but there's still some okay stuff, and PS Plus Extra as a whole, if you don't own a lot of the games, if your PlayStation library from the PlayStation Store and just physical copies isn't that deep, well then Plus Extra is always gonna be a decent value unless the price point gets to an absolutely egregious point, because there's so many games on there that are worthwhile, especially from first party. But you would hope to see a good lineup of games every month, and the issue with Plus that I've had is Plus Extra's price saw a very big price increase. While the value proposition is good, it didn't get any increase with that price increase. I'll reiterate that every time we talk about PlayStation Plus Extra from a value standpoint. My issue is price went up, value proposition did not. That is all I've always said. But yeah, as far as games to play before the February titles leave, Ace Combat, Resident Evil 7, of course, and as far as the Tokyo RPG Factory games go, check those out down the line if you find them at deep discounts. Like, they're okay games, but you know, with JRPGs being at such a high point these days and there being so many compelling options, those three aren't ones that I would jump to immediately, but that's my 2 cents on that. Moving on from that, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth and Tekken 8 have both got their reviews posted. As I'm recording this video, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is sitting at a very respectable 89 on Metacritic, so very, very good score. Would be nice to see an RGG title break 90. I don't think any RGG title has broken a 90, and as I refresh the page, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is at a 90. It looks like it's going back and forth from an 89 to a 90 because I just loaded the page again and it's back to an 89. But nonetheless, it's going to be at around an 88 to a 91, I would imagine, by the end of the day, which, again, is a super respectable score. I think you know what to expect out of Infinite Wealth. If you liked Like a Dragon, you're going to love this game most likely. And you do have Kiryu and Ichiban. Ichiban was such a great character in Like a Dragon, and now you're going to get him, you're going to get Kiryu, you're going to get a likable cast all around, and the story should have its emotional moments and a bit of comedy. I mean, if you saw some of the trailers for this game, it just looks insanely over the top, but you know, that's what you expect out of RGG a lot of the times. It can get pretty wacky and pretty over the top, but they do a good job balancing the wackiness with the more heartfelt moments, because by the end of the first Like a Dragon, like, no spoilers, like, that game got pretty wild and incredibly compelling, but at the same time, kept its tone in check all the way through. Tekken 8 currently sitting at a 90 on Metacritic. Really happy to see this, and really happy to see the success of these long-running fighting game franchises. Like, I love Tekken 7. I had a lot of fun with that. But Street Fighter 6 came out last year, you know, hovering around the 90s on Metacritic as well, and now Tekken 8 also at a 90. Now, Tekken is a fighting game franchise that I grew up with, so obviously there's a little bit of nostalgic affinity towards Tekken for me, but I'm gonna check the game out. I'm not gonna get super, you know, competitive with it. I just don't do that with fighting games in general, but it does look like they put more emphasis on the single-player component to Tekken 8, so I'm more so excited about that, and I feel like Tekken, from a presentation standpoint, and this one being a true next-gen game, I think it's gonna be stylistically one of those fighting games a lot of people get into, and from a design standpoint, I think people are gonna enjoy it quite a bit. And it's, you know, a fighting game franchise that a lot of people do have nostalgia for. Even if you haven't checked out the more recent entries, I think Tekken 8 is gonna be a game a lot of people will check out, especially with this kind of reception. Obviously, both Infinite Wealth and Tekken 8 do have $70 price tags and the deluxe editions. You know, for a fighting game, it's just to be expected. If you want all the content, you gotta get the deluxe edition. The season pass with 4 additional characters is tied to the deluxe edition. And Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, New Game Plus, which has been a standard feature in RGG titles, is tied to the deluxe edition. So have at it with that one. $85 for that, and I believe it's $100 for Tekken 8's deluxe edition. So, you know, publishers gonna do what publishers gonna do. They're trying to generate the most amount of revenue possible, and hey, if people buy it, can I really say they're making a wrong business decision? But the Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth New Game Plus being tied to the deluxe edition is absolute nonsense, and if you defend it, like, I saw some people in my comment section saying, bro, it's an 80-hour JRPG or a 50-hour JRPG, you're not even gonna do New Game Plus. That's not that. It's literally New Game Plus has been standard in so many games and RGG titles. They stripped away a feature, and now they are charging you for said feature after raising the price of the game by $10 as well from a base game. Like, if you guys don't understand what's wrong with that, I just have nothing to tell you at that point. Like, I can't save you at that point, and you know, it is what it is. RGG games are beloved, and I'm still super excited for the game. I'm gonna be checking it out, but we can call out nonsense when we see it. And also, you know, this is probably more so a Sega decision than an RGG decision. Decisions like what's included in the deluxe edition and how you piecemeal content. That's more so, how do we monetize the game as much as possible, and that's what the publisher more so thinks about. But yeah, take it for what you will. That's gonna do it for me. Again, major update for Plus for the month of February. A lot of major games leaving: Resident Evil 7, Ace Combat 7, along with the trio of Tokyo RPG Factory titles, Tekken 7, some other stuff there. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth being received very well. 89 as I'm recording this video on Metacritic, 90 as I refresh the page at the end of this video, and Tekken 8 also sitting at a 90. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.